so far, this was a training beyond basics. That is intermediate art training, part 1 with data visualization. So we thank you all for having participated in this training. And in particular, also, I recognize the facilitators, Chioma, Ashna, Ludovic. So we started on 7th August. We have had our sessions every other week, and also having Art for Fun Club in the week between the sessions. So we started on 7th, and we have had a total of 8 sessions, and also 8 Art for Fun clubs. So today is our last session, and it will be a review of what Ludovic covered last week. That is introduction to Shiny, R Shiny, that is for creating dashboards. So that is all from me. Maybe I give the chance to Mary J for a few words before Ludovic takes over. Mary J.
Hello. Good evening. Welcome everyone to our last session for this training. I think before the session, Ludovic is just going to go ahead to present the catch-up from his last session, and then we are going to do all the other closing discussions in the end. Thank you.
Okay, Ludovic, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you so much. And as my colleagues have just pointed out, we are pleased to have you until now. And this has been a pleasure for us to work with you, learn again with you. And for today, we'll have a very short session from my side. So I'll just review the basics of the Shine app. And then maybe if there's anything that came up while you are working with the codes, we can discuss that. Otherwise, we'll have a short review of the questions, and then we'll have plenty of time to for everyone to have a chance to speak, as Duncan has pointed out. So I'll share my screen. You can see this, right?
Yes, Ludovic, you can see.
Okay. Okay, so last week we introduced the Shiny dashboard, and we pointed out that it can be very useful in making our outputs more interactive, and actually it may be very easier to communicate complex analysis to our stakeholders. And as we pointed out, we reviewed that there are 3 components of the Shiny package, which we said the Shiny package will have the user interface, which controls how the user will see. So it controls the layout, the appearance itself, and how the user interacts with the app. And then we also have the saver function, which stands for all the codes that are behind the app that communicates with inputs from the user. And then these two are becoming functional through the Shine app call function, which pair the two to make sure that the input from the user interface and the output from the saver function are relating to each other to ensure that we have the reactivity, which we pointed out that is a very important principle in the Shiny app. We also covered the built-in examples. We had 11 of them. I hope you had the time to review. You just install the package, and then you can write this simple code, and you have all these built-in examples. And then after that, we started building the Shine app step by step. So we had covered, we had covered several components of the app, starting with the user interface, which had the codes from here up to here. And we pointed out that the user interface, we have this assignment sign, so it will be on the fluid page. And from there, we say this title panel will be the title of the Shine app. And then we'll have the side layout, the sidebar that we saw at the output that we had last week. And then the side panel, we have the width. And then we pointed out that the inputs that can be written in the user interface, including the select input, the checkbox group input. Sometimes we can even add the help text input. And we said we could get all of this from the cheat sheet, the Shine App cheat sheet, which we showed last week. But I'll also share it after I finish these codes. So you can just go to that and try to see what you're trying to build. What kind of an input do you need? Do you need a select input? For instance, here I wanted to select one of these HIV statuses. So select input was more useful to me compared to others. Or you can have the checkbox, or you can have a slider, depending with what you want. So this will be on the sidebar. And then on the main panel is where your output will occur. So every time you are interacting with either of these, the main panel will represent the output. I mean, your output, whether it's a graph or a table or just a figure. So the main panel will have a width of 9, and then we want it to show a plot. So we choose a plot output. And last week we pointed out that if we choose a plot output here, function, when we are using the render function, we also need to choose plot. So when we can just go ahead to the saver function and see how that will be. So the function itself, the code itself will be saver. We'll have function input output, and then we'll have the function of this. So the output of occupational plot, which is what we pointed here, will come from the render plot. So if we choose a plot here, the render function should also be plot. So that's one way of, that's a way of linking this output with what's happening behind in the saver function here. So if you were to choose an output of a table, say here was table output, in the render function, it was supposed to be render table. And then after that, we'll just write the code for what we want. So here we write the code of how we want that to appear. But from this code will relate this with the main panel, which is pointed around there. So we said after that, we applied the HIV status filter. So if the user were to select HIV status, and if the HIV status is not all, that's positive and negative, the output that will be plotted should be the one that from the plot data has filtered HIV status based on the respective status, which is either positive or negative. So this is to say that the user will have option of choosing either positive or negative, and when they don't choose anything, the plot will present itself as all. So all positive and negatives will be chosen. And then we apply the same thing to the sex. So if the length of input, which is sex, is more than 0, so that means it's either male or female, which each of them presents as 1. So the plot which is supposed to be plotted should be filtered from sex, and from that sex it will choose either of them, whether it's male or female. So it's just like here, So here we'll have option of either choose a male or female. So these two codes, we said that they'll help us with the reactivity. And then from there, we can just write a normal ggplot code. So this is something that we learned the other week. So this is a normal ggplot code. So we'll plot the plot data, and then we'll count occupational, HIV, and sex. And then we'll use ggplot to plot. On x-axis, there will be occupation. On y-axis, there will be n, which we got from this count here. And we'll fill the figure by HIV status. The position will be Dodge. And then the geom, we all have all these categories, including the names and everything. And then this is for saver function, which is the second component. And then the last component was just this short code, which will make the whole app to connect itself, to connect the user as well as the saver interface. And then after this, we had seen that if we run that, our output was something like this. And from here, we could see that when we don't select positive or negative, the app chooses all by itself. And then it also chooses male or female, but we always have the option of choose either male or female. And we also practiced with it by changing whether positive or negative. And you could see changes on this output, which happens instantly when we change the variables, for instance, in HIV status or maybe in the sex. And maybe to just remind you, so this is so here, this is the main panel from our codes. So from the codes that we had here, so the main panel, which is we are talking about here, which are the width of 9 and all this, is what we find is this one. And then this is a sidebar. So is where we change all this, and the codes that made this are these ones. So the codes in the slide bar, and then in the user interface, which we are linked with those ones in the server. So this is a brief of what we covered last week. I wonder if you had some time to go through the codes and maybe try to run from your side, and if you are successful in getting this simple dashboard. So maybe we can start with that. Did anyone succeeded to reach here from the course that we shared in Afredac platform?
So maybe I can start. I
Okay.
actually tried,
Okay.
and everything worked so far.
Yeah.
But when it came to the point of deploying,
Yeah.
it needs you to register in the POSIT website, so that I think
Yeah.
they can be the one to host to host the dashboard. So I think deploying is also possible, but
Yeah.
what you need to do first is that you need first of all to have an account there, so that they
Yeah.
can host the dashboard for you for free.
Okay.
Yeah. Then the other thing which I think we should also note is that Ludovic, can you kindly go back to the Markdown file you are showing?
Okay. Yeah.
There's that sidebar panel, which is the
Yep.
width equals to 3.
Yeah.
Actually, that width is also important to note that it can only go to a maximum of 12.
Okay. Yeah. So it's
So
3 to 12, right? If I remember correctly.
yeah, to 12. I know. I remember at 12 is the maximum. So you
Okay.
can you cannot say that the width is 13. It will throw an error to you for you. So
Okay.
it needs to be a maximum of 12. Then the other thing which actually I think it would be quite useful as
Yeah.
practicing this is that in case you need to add any side panel, this particular dashboard, that one needs to be added within the sidebar layout.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if, for example, you're putting, let's say, a select input, you want to have, sorry, I can say maybe, yeah, the plot output, for example, you see where we have output ID equals to occupation plot.
Yeah.
If you would like to have another plot,
Yeah.
you must also make sure that you add it within the server function as well.
Yeah.
I think those are the important things to note, but I really found that cheat sheet to be quite handy. Know it
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
Okay, so shiny. Okay. So yeah, so this is a cheat sheet that Duncan has reminded us on.
Yeah, this is quite useful, and let's see. Maybe Ludovic, can you kindly scroll down?
Scroll, okay.
Yeah, it's it's quite cool, but I like it because it just guides you as to everything that needs to be done within the Shiny app.
Okay. That's great. Okay. And here is where we pointed out that, for instance, if you choose text input in the input, in the render function, you'll choose text output. So it will be render text, and then you write what you want to link with the input that you had written on the other side of user interface. So it goes like that. If you chose a plot, you'll go to the render plot. If you chose maybe, I think we had a table, you'll go to render table. If you wanted the words, maybe if it's text input, you wanted the words to be printed by verbatim, it will be render print, etc. Okay. So thank you so much for the feedback, Duncan. Is there anyone else who succeeded?
I think I can also
Okay.
show
Yeah. Okay. So let me stop.
how my dashboard looked like.
Like, okay.
So let me see. Yeah, I got something like this.
Really? That's nice.
Yeah, I did, but this slider for selecting age,
Yeah. Yeah.
it does not work on my end. So I'll just try to troubleshoot and see
Okay. Okay.
how it can also be used. But I added some things like HIV status,
Test,
health
diagnosis.
diagnosis. So if you choose
Yeah.
diagnosis, it picks
Yeah.
that. And
Then management.
if you can choose confirmatory,
Yeah.
then outpatient, inpatient, it will go for you. The HIV status Kusupia. Let
Yeah.
me.
And I think, yeah, your dashboard is really helpful to bring home the message that you can use the dashboard to communicate very complex information in a such easier means to understand. So maybe can you share the course with us, and then we can also try to explore and maybe try to recreate that.
Yes, yes. there's something also,
Yeah.
I think I can also share. There's some few things which I can share from the code. Then we'll just share
Okay, okay.
the code. So first of all, I think we can load the data here.
Yeah.
Then you can do the data curation at this point.
Yeah.
And this way now started creating that the panel. So you can see this was a slider for the edges, but
Yeah.
I feel something is not working for this slider. So I'll just troubleshoot it. Then this was for sex, for management, for diagnosis, and for statuses. So actually, Ludovic, I actually just followed what you actually did. I just added this,
Yeah.
and this is where I was talking about. You see now, for me to actually add the two plots, I need to add this one, which is for occupation plot, like the one you had.
Yeah.
I also put a comma there. Then I also add for plot number
The
2.
other one. Yeah.
Yes. But
And on the server function?
on the server function, yes. Now, when it comes to the server function, I need to add the diagnosis filter. Also need to add the disease management filter. The sex filter and the HIV status filter was the one that you already had.
Yeah.
And now when it comes to the plot, I need to do for plot number 1, this one.
Yeah.
And so this so let me just show you this this server function here will take account for the plot, the first plot, this one,
Yeah.
and you put it inside the render function. So and then at the end, this way it ends. I also start another render function for the render plot function for plot number 2.
Plot number 2.
Pose the plot which came back safe. And then
Just
finally,
run.
line 126, you just do the server and UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think Ludovic, it was quite a good practice from what
Yeah.
you initiated, and a lot can be done using dashboards. I will share this script so that
Okay.
the team can also go and try their own.
Okay. That will be helpful.
Thanks so much for that.
Okay. So do you have any other contributions, questions, clarifications? Ashna, are you there?
Hello.
Hello.
No, no contributions from my end. I think I learned a lot in this module. I have admittedly not used Shiny much before. So I've learned a lot from your examples, and I think they were good illustrations of how to use this data and how to make it more interactive. Because I think for the time series module, we saw a little bit of it with
Yeah.
Plotly, but
Yeah.
we weren't able to actually like choose which data was going in the plot there. So this is actually very handy, especially for people who are working with policymakers. And as you said last week, it really empowers those who may not know how to code to actually manipulate the data using these dashboards.
Yeah. And I also like what Duncan did with the dashboard, because he just
Very
used
colorful.
it's very colorful, and then he used the basic codes which he had last time, and then make everything become complicated and beautiful. So, and from the way the codes have been written from his script, you can just see that it's just the same principles, but then again, the output is so complex, which is the beauty of it all. How you can take advantage of just the basic knowledge that you have on the app and R, and you can make this complex data set, and the stakeholders can interact with them so easily. So thank you so much to everyone. I think that will be the last of it. So what's the primary purpose of the Shiny package in R? Is it to create static reports? Okay. Is it to perform advanced statistical tests or transform static visualization into interactive web application, or just to clean data set automatically?
I think there's an answer from Frank in the chat.
Okay. C. Yeah. So it's to transform a statistic data set into interactive web function. So our answer here is C. Good. So the second question, what are the three core structure components of every Shine app? So whenever we have a Shiny app, no matter how complex it is, it will usually have the three components. So the first answer is either input, output, and data, be layout, widget, and plot. Is it user interface, server, and Shine app call? Is it front end, back end, and database? So what are the three structure components?
Peace says C.
C. User interface, server, and Shine app call. Okay. Okay. In a Shine app, what is the role of user interface? So we've already seen the three components, user interface, server, and Shine app call. So we start with the user interface. What's the role of the user interface? A, it contains instruction for data processing. It executes all reactive expressions and outputs. It defines the server-side logic and calculation. It controls the layout and the appearance that the user interact with. What's the role of user interface? Do we have an answer? D. Okay, so it controls the layout and the appearance. Yep. So it controls how the user will see the application or the dashboard. Okay, so the fourth question, what is the primary role of the server function in Shiny app? So we are done with the user interface. What's the primary role of the server function? Is it to host the application online? Is it to define the visual layout and inputs? Or does it contain instruction that builds the app logic and outputs? Or it's just necessary? It's necessary just to install necessary packages? So in our app, what have we learned? What does the server function do? Okay, so the answer is C. Okay, to contain instruction. Okay, so the server function contains all the instructions that builds up the app's logic and outputs. It's here where we saw the ggplots code. We saw the codes that create reactivity between the user interface and the server function. So all those are just instruction that makes the app logical and also create the outputs that we want. Okay, so we go to the fifth question. So which function is essential for combining user interface and the server in order to run a Shiny app? Is it a render Shiny function? Is it a Shiny app function? Is it a launch app function? Is it a run app function? Okay. Okay. So which is essential for combining user interface and server? Can you still hear me? Oh, I'm just alone now.
Yes, that is
Okay, I'm still around. Okay, so we pointed out earlier that we first start to write our codes on the user interface, and then we later wrote the codes on the server function, and then we said that for these two to interact, we need a shine up call. So this one, so we need a call from the shine up call, and this is the if we should retrace our steps. This one. So this, I mean, this run application code, shine up, user interface, you got user interface, server, you got server. So this is a shine up call that makes us run the user interface, the codes in the user interface, and make them interact with those in the server function. So here the function will be that one. And then in our discussions, we spoke a lot about reactivity principle when it comes to shine up. We kept saying that every shine up is supposed to be reactive. You change anything in the user interface, instantly you get outputs. So when we say reactivity in shine up, what do we mean? So does it mean the speed at which the app loads? Does it mean the app's ability to automatically update outputs when inputs change? Does it mean the color scheme of the user interface, or just the way errors are handled? Okay, I think we have an answer here. So it says B. So B is the app ability to automatically update outputs when inputs change. Okay. So this is the reactivity itself. So when we change anything on the user interface, we're supposed to get different output on the, the dashboard should present a different output. So that reaction is the reactivity itself. So which function is used to create a reactive plot? So suppose if we are creating a plot, so which function is useful for creating a reactive plot that updates based on the user input? Is it a reactive plot? Is it a create plot? Is it a render plot? Is it interactive plot? So we said in the, okay, so we have answers, so we can see. So it says C. Okay, so we said that in the user interface, we will point out that we want our output maybe to be a table, or maybe to be a text, or maybe to just be a figure, or maybe a plot. So for that to happen, we need to use a render function in the server component that will link those output, what we wanted in the input with that in the server. So if we wanted to create a reactive plot, we'll use a render plot function. Okay, so 3 more to go. So for organizing Shiny projects, what is recommended? At the start of our talk, I think we had a brief talk about what you should do when you're creating new Shiny application. So what did we say? Did we say that we need to store app files in the R installation directory, create a new dedicated directory for each Shine app, keep all apps and data files in one central folder, or it's best to avoid creating directories for Shine app? So what was the recommendation when organizing a Shining project? Okay, so we said that for each project, for each Shiny dashboard that we are going to create, it's better to create a dedicated directory for it. So for each of them, it will have its own directory. And I think this will be more useful when it comes to publishing, because when you are publishing, actually you want to publish just one dashboard rather than publishing 2 dashboards in the same directory. I think it's most likely to give you some errors. Okay, so which of the following is general advantage of an interactive Shine dashboard over a static, let's say static PDF report? Static reports are always faster to create. Shiny dashboard do not require an internet connection to run. Stakeholders can explore the data themselves by changing inputs and filters. Shiny dashboard are easier to email than attachment. So what's the general advantage of creating Shiny dashboard? Okay, so we have, so I say C. So stakeholders can explore the data themselves by changing inputs and filters. Yeah. And the last one, which of these best describe the data flow in a Shiny app? So which of these describe the whole process that we've been discussing on how the Shiny app works? So A, the data starts from server, then it goes to user interface, then it goes to user. Or it starts from the user, then it goes to user interface. So the user comes with what he or she has in mind, and then it goes to the user interface, it goes to the server, and then it goes back to the user interface, and then again the user interact with it. Or just from the user to the server to the user interface, or from the user interface to the user to the server. So which of these is likely the flow that the Shine app operates? Okay, so it says B. Yeah, so the user will come with what they have in mind, and then from the users, we'll go to the user interface, they'll interact with it, the server will react, the user interface will see some changes, and then the user will say, is this what I wanted, or I need to explore more? So they'll explore, and then the cycle will start again. So that will be B. Okay, so with this, I'd like to thank you so much for being with me all this time, all along. And I like to point out that I was not familiar with how useful Shiny could be, but from this experience, I can say that actually it can do a lot of things. And I think it's just a call for all of us to try to explore what we can do with it. And who knows how it can be helpful in what we are doing. So thank you so much. I'd like to return the baton to Duncan.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you so much, Ludovic, for that review of Shiny. And I can also say that now we may have some materials now for part 2 of this training, because now for the data that we were loading, it was data that was just static in our machines. Maybe now in the next training we can have data that is updating maybe after each hour. How does the dashboard appear when a person checks after every hour? So that can be something interesting to also look at. And the other thing is that in the coming training, we can also start looking at how we can also now incorporate tables. So there's a lot to be learned, but this was very, very helpful. And once again, I take the opportunity to actually appreciate all the people who facilitated, all the people who have attended. Peace, Frank, you've been, and Joe, you've been quite attentive to what you've been doing. So we thank you so much for that. And so this actually brings us to the end of this training. And I will pass it to Ashna, then Ashna will pass it to Mary J, and finally Virginia for final remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Duncan. And yeah, I'll reiterate everything that Duncan said. I think this has been a fantastic session, and it's lovely to see a few folks who have kind of followed throughout from the beginning. So thank you all for engaging with this content, and to be honest, I've also learned a lot these sessions. These are, as we get into more advanced topics, there are certain things that we as facilitators also aren't so familiar with. So I've also learned much from Ludovic, Duncan, and Chioma. So yeah, thank you for the Afredac team for organizing these, and I really look forward to continuing to see people engage in content in the next sessions. Thank you. I forget who was after me.
It's Mary J.
Mary
Yep.
J.
Hello, everyone. Ludovic, this was wonderful. Thank you very much for this wonderful presentation. So I want to thank especially the facilitators and our participants. Frank, thank you so much for the consistency, for showing up every week for the trainings and for the club sessions. Peace, thank you so much for showing up. And I can see in the comments that we have learned a lot. Joe, thank you very much. Gilbert, thank you very much for showing up. We are very, very grateful that you all are here. So, yes, I can see this is the last day. Joe, is this your first day joining us?
Yes.
Okay,
Hi, everyone.
okay.
Yeah, it's
Are
my
you
first
on the
day.
Afredac platform?
Yeah, I did send the email, but I didn't get feedback some days back. So today I get access to join it. So are you planning to redo this session again?
So what we can do is just let me type it in the chat, afredac.net. You join afredac.net and you join the Arrow for Fun Club.
Okay.
Okay, so did you have it, afredac.net? You are going to sign up and you join the Arrow for Fun Club. Once you've joined the Arrow for Fun Club, you are going to see all information concerning this training on the club. And you can always send a message, a question, and there's always a facilitator that is going to respond to you. This course is available on the e-learning page of Afredac. So you
Okay.
can take this course from the start to the end at your pace. There is also an introduction to our course available on that same platform, so that if you really need to start back from the basics, you can start from there. And also to everyone, feel free to share afredac.net and the Arfo Fun Club. We have a lot of resources on there, and most of our resources are free. So if you have colleagues or friends that are interested in taking these courses, feel free share the Arrow for Fun Club, spread the word to them and make them to join. And also, after this, we are going to be following up with feedback about this training, because we hope to continue trainings on data science on R, and we want to know how we can make this training better. So it's not going to be long, just a little bit. We'll put it on the R for Fun Club. And also we are going to send a few emails to you people for your feedback. Please do send us feedback, because it's going to help to improve the next sessions and courses that you're going to be having. Also, the Arrow for Fun Club and the Afredac platform is always open. So this learning is a continuous process. It's true that this particular training has come to an end, but we are going to go over to continue our Arrow for Fun Club sessions in some weeks to come. So we need the community to stay on being vibrant. There is no small question and there is no big question. So if you are working on code, if you are working on, I don't know, your project, the document, and you face difficulties, just start a discussion in the club, and rest assured, there's always a facilitator that will reach you. And you should also know that this training, we have seen a lot of progress. The quality that we see here is really much. last year, two of our facilitators, like as if you know, Ludovic, that has been our brilliant facilitators on a lot of new things, was a student in the first training, and now he's facilitating. So I just want to tell you all that if we are all open-minded, interested, and consistent, we can really do a whole lot with this, and we can meet a whole lot of opportunities and people on a space like this. So please just Afredac.net to everyone. We are on all social media platforms, and you can always follow, like, and share. So I'll leave the rest of the closing words to Duncan. Please, I'll see you on the platform. So I'll be checking up on you. I'll be sending you for DMs on the Afredac.net platform to see how you're doing and to see how the training is impacting you in your day-to-day life. Thank you, Duncan.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mary J. Virginia.
So, Duncan, thank you. But then, before I give my closing remarks, I've noted actually we had few trainees that we had, and since this is our last day, I wish if we could give at least 1 or 2 minutes for each one to just say something on how the training journey was, just a bit of expression for everyone, since we're only few.
Maybe we can start with Frank, then Peace, and Joe, in that order.
Okay.
Yep, sure.
Thank you very much. This was a very good opportunity for me to learn R and to be conversant with it. Of course, I was using Starter, but now I got time to learn R. Probably I'll be shifting to R everything. So I like it, and it was a really interesting time for me to learn and practice things. So thank you very much. I've learned a lot.
Thank you so much, Frank, for your sentiment. So at the point where we'll also have training in Stata, you'll be our go-to person. Peace.
Okay, good day, everyone. This training has actually been a journey for me because I started the beginner session while I was in medical school, and with the hectic schedule, especially my final year, I struggled with completing the beginner training, but I just took a push and decided to continue, and I met myself at the intermediate training, and it's been a journey because I've learned that R is more than just running codes and all. I'm learning to see that I can use it in my day-to-day training, especially as a medical professional, and solve problems as a clinician eventually. So I'm really grateful for how hands-on and intentional the facilitators were and how they were willing to accommodate our questions and patients. So I'm excited to continue this journey of coding and learning as I go on. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peace, and we appreciate your dedication. Then finally, I think Gilbert has dropped. Then Joe.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you. I've been on and off. I've been doing it for fun, but I find it very interesting and very incorporative. The future of my career, the medical personnel in my field of orthopedics, I'm looking forward to use it in some point in the future. I think I'll be joining on and off in a continuous manner in R for fun. Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe, and we also appreciate your dedication to the courses as well and to learn more about her. Virginia, I think we are done with the participants who are present.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Duncan. I actually wanted like for our trainees to say something because personally I think I know some of them. Like Joe is actually Dr. Joseph. He's an orthopedic surgeon. And I introduced to him the course and I was happy for the consistency. We know the time that we take. You know how hard it is. I'm sorry for the background noise for a person to fall up during the middle of the work and also Frank. He's a physiotherapist as well at KSMC, and I'm glad for the consistency that they've been having throughout the training for the first time when I introduced to him, and then he was happy, like he was like, oh, I wish I could know this even through the last year. And actually, I was impressed to meet Peace. I don't know you personally, but I was impressed also to see your consistency, your engagement throughout the session. I think Duncan will lead us through the shout out session that will come next. But then when it comes to the training of our programming and all other programming sessions that you usually have, actually I was also impressed with Chioma. Actually, she's not with us today because of her tight schedules, her being a medical student. And I could imagine myself when I was a medical student to follow up this journey. It was very hard. And I understand majority do follow up these programming sessions when they have a career with research. But I think currently we see the shift has come. It's not only that you are following the journey of research, but even if you are a practitioner, I think you have come to understand that currently the world of data is very important. So for people to understand these advanced statistical tools that you are using, apart from Stata, something that Frank has shared, an introduction to ARA that you have done through our platform. Probably you can see this knowledge somewhere else, but we are glad that as part of Afredac, which is almost we are going to our second year, to be coordinating these sessions to our wonderful facilitators like Duncan, Ashna, Ludovic. Chioma is not here. Maybe next year we might have like Frank Peace or Dr. Joseph might be our next facilitators to the next sessions, because all we need is consistency to know what you need. Probably sometimes you might think like it's hard probably to speak the languages like that Duncan or Ludovic are speaking, but I promise you when it comes with consistency and with a bit of doing more and more with the practice, I think we can all be there. So thank you very much. And I really appreciate for all of you who took time to go through the session. So I think most of the logistics already Marija has communicated that you can always keep in touch with us from the basic training. And I've been saying through our continuous meeting, ever since we have been advocating for intermediate sessions, I've been getting messages via my WhatsApp every now and then. So probably some people might find like the intermediate session was quite hard, but every time I've been directing people, when you find like maybe this is hard, but don't give up. Maybe this was meant for you to develop interest, but then you can go back to the session and then you can get time to interact with the basics. So we also noted we had a surge of the people doing the basics after we have been introducing our intermediate session. So maybe people found like, okay, maybe this is hard for me to catch up, but then it was like an open door for people to go to the basic sessions. So maybe if this is the first time, like I know Gilbert dropped, but I also personally know Gilbert, and I introduced him. I introduced him to this session, so I think I'll keep on communicating to him. So just go back to the basic, and then go to the journey of an intermediate, and we'll communicate to you with the logistics when we have other series of sessions. Because if you noted, that was data visualization part 1. So we are coming back with our part 2 and so forth and so forth, and other things that might be coming for the programming languages. So thank you very much. Duncan, back to you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Virginia, for those sentiments. And I think we are almost closing the session, ending the session. So maybe it will just be important to actually mention that We will be reaching out personally to our participants, some of them, so that we can request whether they would like to be part of the pool of facilitators, because there's still so much to do with art and other applications, and in particular in the health sphere. So we'll reach out to some of you so that you can be part of the facilitators in the next round. So, but other than that, for the participants, you can complete the courses on the platform to get your certificate of completion. And for our facilitators, you'll also get your certificate as well for recognition. But then that's all from me for now. Thank you all, and I welcome Mary J, who will also close the meeting for us. Mary J.
Thank you very much. Just to remind you that the certificates, once you want to download your certificate from the platform, please, the name that will be on the certificate is going to be your username. So if you want to change it, or if your username is not accurate, just go back to your profile and update your username so that your certificate will come in the name that you want it to appear in. Thank you. And thank you guys very much. Bye-bye. See you. Bye-bye for now, because I'll see you in the RF Phone Club after this.